just basic stuff as well, isn't it? Yo, what's up people, it's your boy P, also known as Captain P67. We're back here today with a unique God build video for you. So, whenever I say I'm going to do something, I finish it. And obviously you guys have been watching my rogue videos, my God builds. So the last one I did was level 92. But I did say when I reach level 100, I'll do a full God build video breakdown and cover everything for you. And on top of that, I kept my word. I actually beat Uber Lilith with the same build. So you don't have to tweak or change anything. If you guys haven't seen that video, make sure you watch that. I absolutely melted Uber Lilith in like seconds. You can watch the video. I'll post a link, or I'll add in the comments below. I'll add a link for that. So if you want to watch that, you can watch that. And I've also given a breakdown of the gear. But Paragon board will say the same. But like I said before, when I make a God build, it kind of covers everything. So not only do we get max offense, we also get max defense. Hence why if you've seen those clips at the start of the footage, I've kind of covered like a lot of damage, but I've covered a situation where I had 0 HP and I still clutched an elite, kill them, and I can kind of heal myself as well over time. So not only do we have maximum damage with this, and it's just bonkers. So penetrating shot, the reason why the build's unique is we got range covered with penetrating shot is hella high, and the damage is ridiculous, as well as the poison damage. So if something's far, you can kill it. If something's close, you can kill it with twisted blades, and also your basic skills, which I'll go into as well. So without further ado, let me just get into my true rogue God build. So again, just to recap, this can cover all Nightmare Dungeons. I took it to Nightmare Dungeon 70 plus, light work, destroyed everything. Uber Lilith I've destroyed as well. And again, the footage and receipts are there. The links will be in the description below for those other videos. And obviously you can just go and check my footage for anything. But yeah, top to bottom, I'm going to get through it as quick as I can. There's obviously a lot to go through. But I want to be thorough just for newer players to see. Obviously veteran players can understand as well. But like I said, this covers everything: offense, defense, survivability, and just if you want to speed run maps, it's just God tier, absolutely God tier. So we'll start off tops with the helmet. So I've got a helmet with cooldown reduction, 20 all stats, 3 poison imbuement, plus basic attack, skill speed, and disobedience. Now the poison could be 1 higher, so we potentially could do more, but you know how RNG goes and loot drops and stuff, especially with this game. But yeah, I'm not going to mean to max it, but I don't need to. Like I said, if you watch the footage, it's ridiculous. 5 million damage, 2 million damage, constant millions of damage, like just on single targets as well as groups, as you saw. But yeah, next piece is chest piece. So I got poison damage, physical damage, imbuement skill damage, which is hella dope roll. And on top of that, I've gone for Mail of Might, which is damage reduction. Again, hella offense, hella defense as well. Now, gloves we've got is lucky hit chance to heal, and that's 1097 life. So a lot of health if you do use it. If you do proc it, we have lucky hit chance on the gloves, so 15.3, again very high. Twisting blades 4 ranks, penetrating shot 4 ranks. Whenever penetrating shot damages enemies, 2 additional arrows split up to either side. These arrows deal 22% of the penetrating shot's base damage and do not split. And again, mega damage, covers a lot of different areas, and that's called the trick shot. And then we've gone for Umbrous Adventurous Pants. Now this is dope. While injured, your potional grants 30% maximum life as a barrier. So whenever you're taking a lot of damage, pop a health potion. You got a nice barrier around you. If you got a lot of HP, more survivability, and we got damage reduction, maximum life, damage reduction from enemies that are poison, and we got imbuement skill cooldown reduction. Again, which is super dope because you obviously want defense, but if something you want to kill something instantly, and pretty much this one shots everything in the whole game. Anything that gets hit by this and the poison of penetrating shot just dies. You just see it's absolutely ridiculous. Boots, we got Archer and Greaves, so Ravager's Archer and Greaves. So we got movement speed, 4 ranks of Shadow Step, energy cost reduction, and damage reduction while injured. Now I've got imprinted, Shadow Step has an additional charge. Killing an enemy with Shadow Step refunds a charge and increases Shadow damage step by 6% multiplier for 2 seconds up to 30%. Now what's dope about this is if you got certain elites or guards that stun you a lot, because you got 2, it's pretty much a get out of jail free card, which is so god tier. So like if you've used 1 and you are stunned, obviously if you can't move and you're getting hit over and over again, you will just die. Even with this new stuff they added, you still can get stunned. But obviously with this 2 shadow steps is just so god tier, because if you obviously read what it says and you hit it on someone, you can actually get more than one. But if you shadow step 1 and then another appears and you get stunned again, you've actually got another way of getting out, and survivability is just god tier. So your healing will stay up, and you'll stay obviously away from any sort of mad danger and doing damage to them, and obviously potentially hitting them can get you a potion. And again, if you look at these topaz gems I put in there as well, these kind of bump up your basic damage as well as stopping you from getting crowd controlled as well, which is god tier, which is why I got a few in there, and hence why I'm doing so much damage in general off base damage. So again, base damage is god tier, core skills are damage are god tier, and the defense as well. For the bow, I got quite a high roll bow. We got 21 vulnerable damage off base, and we got vulnerable damage again, crit strike damage, core skill damage, dexterity, and we got the corruption proc in there. So imbuement skill is 80% multiplier again against vulnerable enemies, which I'll go into how they get procced with vulnerability, but pretty much everything is vulnerable, and we do hella damage. And then if you look underneath that where it says basic skill damage, like I was saying earlier, plus damage over time effects on those purple gems, again just stacks and stacks and stacks. Then we got a dual pass amulet, so I got 15% damage extra on top, movement speed, 3 ranks of malice, which is bonkers for vulnerable damage, so that's why everything spikes. So that's why I've done so much damage to Lilith, because again I use this exactly the same. And marksman skill damage, which is your basic skill damage again, which stacks with the paragon, which stacks extra points, stacks with damage, everything's covered. And then we got pestilent points, which is absolutely god tier. So every third caster puncture is poison imbued with 218% of normal potency. So again, if you're doing crazy damage of poison, imagine 280% more potent, plus the vulnerable procs, plus the other procs on top, it just stacks. That's why we're doing so much damage. Then on top of that, we got a ring which does poison damage, vulnerable damage, crit strike chance, critical strike damage with imbued skills. We got twisted blades on there as well, so that's just your standard twisted blades. If you notice, I didn't actually use any sort of hearts in here. I could have used any other heart I wanted to, but I didn't want to, and I like the way I got it. It's perfect. So you can add more hearts, obviously, depending on what kind of schemes you got to change it. So make your own build how you want to make it. Have fun with the game. That's all that matters. But like I said, this is a true god build from me. You don't have to change anything or turn this out, turn this out. This will cover everything in the whole game. With Uber Lilith, you probably might have to change 1 or 2 pieces of gear because of aspects. That's just the way the fight's kind of made, which is a bit whack. But I have actually, funnily enough, ran it with the same build, and I had quite a bit of a blast and kind of tore up with this as well, without changing anything on this. So yeah, Twisted Blades on here. Wrathful Heart, we got a god tier Barber roll. So if you haven't tried the Barber Heart out, try that out. The best rolls you can get, the lowest rolls. So anything under 2.5, I got a 2.4 god tier roll with a multiplier of 14% is absolutely booming. Around 2.5 or less, anything over that is kind of not the best. So just be mindful of Barber Hearts and stuff proccing correctly as well, because Barber Heart will not proc everything, depending on how long the duration is as well. So keep an eye on that. Then we obviously got the rings, so we got poison damage, lucky hit chance, damage to poison enemies, imbued skill damage. So if you notice, I got lucky hit chance on a few things, which procs everything in the healing, and just works the whole build. So we got a lot of crit chance, crit damage, and lucky hit chance. With this one, we got bursting venom, so crit strike chance, so critical strikes, hence why we got critical chance to boost the critical strikes with poison imbued skills. Have the 10% chance to obviously proc the bursting venoms. That does 4,971 damage over 3 seconds, which is not a lot, but again, you can proc a lot of those, so it will stack up over time. Plus, having the Barber plus the other multipliers, insane. Now, everyone knows how strong Ashir's Kanjar is for the obviously attack speed and stuff like that. But one thing that's super dope is if you pair it up with Condemnation, I think these two are just like Ebony and Ivory. The synergy is just absolutely bonkers. Both have damage to close enemies. And the key thing about Condemnation, and hence why I'm hitting so hard, core skill damage will proc your poison and scale off that. So if you read that, core skill damage goes up, your poison goes up. Damage with dual wielded weapons, which I believe the Twisted Blades will proc, so you get more damage off that. Crit strike chance against enemies injured. Again, more crit strike, more crit damage, more bursting venoms, again stacks up. And then on top of all that, basic skill attack speed. So this will bump up your Ashir's Kanjar without doing anything first. So you're getting more DPS, more faster. And then the key one after all that, your core skills deal 36% multiplier increased damage when spending 3 combo points. Your basic skills using this weapon have 30% chance to generate 3 combo points. So you don't always have to get even your full bar. Sometimes you can just throw 1 sort of puncture, and you get 3 points. Shoot your penetrating shot. So again, not only is it the damage maximum, it's done in the shortest form. It's not in case you have to stack a lot of stuff and then proc something. You could just insta shoot stuff, as you see in the clips. And again, every day when I run it on stream, people ask me how the build is and how strong the penetrating shot is, but that's why, because we just stacked everything. So I got everything covered for you. So yeah, that's all the gear for you. Obviously, specializations, we've got combo points, obviously, for that reason. Your basic skills now generate combo points. Core skills consume combo points for additional effects. Now, the multipliers are bonkers, and I'll go for those as well. But let's go top to bottom quickly for you. And I'll go as quick as I can, but as slow as I can, so everyone that's a new player to a pro player can either just understand what I'm doing and talking about and understand how the mechanics work. So obviously we're going for puncture. People know how this works, so the description's there for you to read. But what's dope about this is, and my Paragon board, every time I hit the enemies with an effect, I do additional 5% extra damage on top of that. So not only do these do damage, and then the puncture skill does that poison damage of third puncture. If you read that part, critical strikes are always slow. So hence why we built up a lot of crit chance. We slow them on top of all that. So not only do poison damage, we slow them. So that's a poison proc plus a slow, meaning I'm doing more damage after poison because I have damage to poison enemies on top of that. And then I have more damage because they're slow. That's another proc. So again, super insane. And where I mentioned vulnerability before, hitting an enemy with at least 2 blades at once makes them vulnerable for 2 seconds. So we get vulnerable damage, we get poison damage, and we get slow damage just for using our basic skill. And again, if you look at look how much damage it does, 3.5k to 4.2k, which might not sound like a lot, but that's 3 blades coming out, and they come out hella fast. And then imagine those critting. So again, just stacks and stacks. So energy, this will get your energy back so much, and kind of explains that for you. Then obviously we mentioned Twisted Blades and how it's hella strong. Now, if you look after the lucky hit chance, 44%. So again, I got a chance for that off Twisted Blades to heal, which I do regularly, hence why we don't have to use any potions. Again, survivability is bonkers with it, and it's just insane. And then if you look at the combo ports multipliers, so for example, if you're at 1 point, let's just say you're doing 13 to 16k on average. At 3 points, you're doing 19 to 23k. And I just noticed, look at the multiplier, 154% damage plus movement. So again, it's just bonkers. Movement speed bonus on top of all that. It's just crazy. And then obviously we've gone for Enhanced Twisting Blade. So deals 30% increased damage when returning. So you get more damage on the way back. And obviously we got Shadow Step. So a key thing with this build is when using Twisted Blades, if you're at one location, if you then use Shadow Step to teleport, the blades will just chomp through all the enemies. So if you see the clips, and what I've done is I've done it on purpose with our Shadow Step. Again, just doing mega damage. We've got improved Twisted Blades, so enemies are dazed while impaled with Twisting Blades. So again, another proc, so slow proc, poison proc, a dazed proc now with Twisting Blades. So again, you see why it all stacks up. Then we've gone for sturdy, so if we're toe to toe with certain enemies, we want damage reduction. We got hella damage reduction already, but can never go wrong with enough damage reduction. And even with this same thing, I use this to go toe to toe with Uber Lilith and just laser her in front of her, and just did so much DPS because of this. And then on top of that, we got Siphoning Strikes, which got a slight buff. Critical strikes against close enemies have 85% chance to heal for 2% of your maximum life. Now, it might not seem like a lot, but again, if you add that factor to everything else we've added, plus the Twisting Blades going round, you might be healing constantly. And 2% might not seem like a lot, but if you stack all those 2% over and over, you get your HP back hella quick. Now, where I mentioned the combo points for the Twisted Blades, look at this again. So, off 1 point, we get between 30k to 40k. However, 3 points, we get between 47k and 58k, which is 239% bonus damage. I believe it's got a chance on there as well, so that must mean a crit chance on top. And it does say it there, so lucky hit chance on this is very high, 67%. And again, you can get more multiplier than... Yeah, the extra bonuses you get, penetrating shot deals 10% increased damage per enemy it pierces. And improved penetrating shot. If the penetrating shot damage leads 3 enemies, your next penetrating shot has a 20% increased crit strike chance. So again, crit strike chance, damage, everything, poison imbued as well, marksman skill, all stacked. Alright, so anyway, yeah, so folks, we get to Shadow Step now. We got 5 ranks of Shadow Step in here. So become unstoppable, quickly stab your victims from behind. You get 50% improved movement speed and 2 seconds afterwards. So we've gone for the Enhanced Shadow Step plus the Methodical Shadow Step as well. And on top of all that, what I said before, so if you notice, we got Slow, we got Dazed, and we got Stun, plus Poison. So that's 3 procs again, plus the Poison, plus Vulnerable. Hence why you can see why we're doing so much damage to the whole build in general. We've also got weapon mastery level 3. So daggers do 15% increased damage to healthy enemies. We've got 2 daggers on, mega damage there. We're also using a crossbow, so 15% increased critical strike damage on top of that. Next part we got is weapon mastery. Oh, sorry, we've done weapon mastery already. Next part we got is Dark Shroud. I have gone for enhanced Dark Shroud. So shadows have 14% chance not to be consumed anyway. But while you have at least 4 active shadows, you get crit strike chance again. So we're just stacking again, crit strike chance, crit strike damage, head of damage. Now this is does some big numbers for your damage as well. Exploit we got level 3. So you deal 18% increased damage to healthy and injured enemies. So if they're above 100%, sorry, no, we're not even above, but just obviously if they're full health, you're going to do mega damage. And then when they, I think it's 20% or less, you're going to be doing even more damage anyway. So you got both ends covered pretty much, which is dope. And then Malice, what I mentioned before with the amulet, we got 18% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. So again, vulnerable damage, poison damage, slow, stun, all the other procs that we've done is crazy. So that's why we got so much big numbers. And then poison imbuement, we got this at level 8. So again, lucky hit chance is very high. You imbue your skills with lethal poison. Your next 2 imbuable skills deal poison damage and apply 204% of their base damage as additional poison damage over 6 seconds. And then we've gone for enhanced poison imbuement. So its duration is increased by a second. And then on top of that, crit strikes with poison imbued skills deal 75% multiply increased poisoning damage. And again, we stack that hella a lot. Then we got precision imbuement. Again, imbued skills do crit strike chance, which kind of synergizes with what I just said. So we got more crit chance, we got more chance, we got a crit in overall. And then we got deadly venom. You deal 9% increased poisoning damage. Debilitating toxins. Poison enemies deal 5% less damage. So damage reduction as well as more damage itself. And then you can go on for one of these. Alchemical advantage. The reason we're going just for one, if you're fighting a boss character, you're not going to need multiple because you're not going to be hitting multiple characters. But there's a lot of enemies with bosses. You can just shoot the minion, like little enemies, and get those and just stack your speed as well. But again, it'll all just stack up to your DPS. The next one we got from there is innovation. We got 2 ranks of this, so 20% chance to gain 8 energy. And then we got Alchemist Fortune. Non-physical damage you deal has 10% increased lucky hit chance. So again, these will just give you lucky hit chance bonus and stack hella nice. Survivability, DPS, everything included. Adrenaline rush, while moving you gain 5% increased energy regeneration. So just by moving around you get that, plus the lucky hit chance stack up. Always got energy, you're always moving, you're always doing stuff. And haste as well, while or at 50% maximum energy, you gain 5% increased movement speed. So if you're above, which most time you are, you're going to get more movement speed. And if you're below, you gain increased attack speed, which will give you more puncture, I mean you can get more DPS, more energy back. So it just kind of loops and stacks and stacks and stacks. And then last but not least, we got close quarters combat. Damaging a close enemy with marksman or cutthroat skills each grant a 10% attack speed for 8 seconds. So while both attack speed bonuses are active, you deal 30% increased damage against crowd controlled enemies. So stun, slow, puncture, vulnerable, all of that, plus the extra stuff, hence why it's so much damage. Now, again, this is very unique. This is literally my own Paragon board from scratch. I've done everything from scratch. I mentioned in my Uber Lilith video though, there is a Paragon board with 7 boards, so you could add 7 glyphs, I believe. So if you feel like you want to do that, try that one out if you wish. But I always like to make things original on my own. So this is literally my own from scratch I made. And you can copy this if you wish, or you can just make your own and just have fun. But I always let people know what options are available. So the other one I think is just for Uber Lilith, just for that. I'm not sure if they use it for things, but with my God build, a true God build, you don't need to change anything. You got this for your normal nightmares and dungeons, whatever tier, nightmare 100, whatever you want to do, and Uber Lilith you can do it. But if you are going to run Uber Lilith, I just recommend you watch my video that I made and maybe change your gear so it's easier for you at that time. But everything else stays the same. So again, we're starting off with the main basic board. We've got damage here, maximum life, very important. Survivability is very key, as well as DPS. A lot of builds make DPS builds and claim they do this and that, but when they get one-shotted, what's the point? It doesn't make any sense. You want some survivability, obviously, as well as doing a lot of DPS. So we covered that. First glyph, we got efficacy. Damage, 25, 250 armor, plus dexterity. Plus skill effects have 20% increased potency, again, on top of all of that. So it's absolutely bonkers. Got more damage nodes here, and just works hella nice. So armor, etc., damage. So we balance both DPS, defense. Then we've gone up to here. So we got the Slayer node, extra armor, extra potion healing, more armor nodes, etc, etc. And then we got some more basic skill damage, which all procs, and the DPS stacks up. More basic damage, which procs into everything. And look at this one, fundamental, 70% basic skill damage plus damage on top, since we got the extra bonuses. And I've got all the bonuses for everything. Core skill damage, basic skill damage, core skill against scales you poison up, plus your basic skills just do hella damage. We got Bane in this glyph socket over here. Then we got Lawless in here for more armor, more dexterity, which is great for the rogue for skill damage and dodge chance. We got core skill damage again, more damage overall, stacking all this nice up here. And then we got over here imbued skill damage, non-physical damage. That stacks that poison, non-physical damage nodes there. Eldritch Bounty, so when you attack an imbued skill, you gain 20% resistance, which is negligible since resistances don't really work in this game yet, apparently. And 20% increased damage for that imbuement skill for element for 9 seconds. So 20% on top of all that after that for 9 seconds, crazy. And we move across here, then we get imbuement skill cooldown. So if you notice when I run my builds, I get a lot of quick cooldown and it's hella fast, but that's because these nodes on top of the build I got already. Non-physical damage, more poison damage. And then we got over here, we got vulnerable damage for the exploit. When an enemy is damaged by you, they become vulnerable for 3 seconds. Again, what I said earlier, there's many ways you can do vulnerable, and then it just stacks that crazy damage, so that's another one. Then imbued skill damage again, plus more dex again. Imbued skill damage over here. Then I've kind of worked my way back up here for more like nodes to meet all the requirements for everything. Now, this is a dope ass one I got, exploit here. So 20% vulnerable damage on top, plus 25% damage to injured enemies again. Absolutely insane numbers. And then we got on top of that, we got exploit weakness. Whenever you deal damage to a vulnerable enemy, they take 1% multiply increased damage from you for 6 seconds, up to 15% multiplier again off the vulnerable. And I just went through that while we get that a lot. Then I worked my way over here. Now this is very important. 32% damage to elites. That's hella damage. And then we come back, so we backtrack down here. We get these extra nodes, vulnerable damage, damage to injured again. Get these extra nodes to hit all the requirements. Then I used tracker, so damage to poison enemies 49.5%, and it lasts 33% longer. So those extra ticks of damage, they're already dead in 1 tick or 2 ticks roughly, but if they do like seem to walk off, or you don't hit them with your main hit of your weapon, they'll just die of the poisoning proc after anyway, since it does so many ticks. So you're covered for that. And then what was cool is I managed to get over here, which was super dope. So I got combat in here, so I got crit strike damage, and then skills that critically strike restore your energy cost. So all the crit strike chance, you're doing crit damage, mega damage, but then you get all your mana back on top of all that. Then we got some extra nodes to get that extra part. So skills that critically strike restore 12 of their energy costs, which I just mentioned. Then we worked our way back down here, and then we got over to here to the last one, which is cheap shot. Now all that stuff I said before, think about this. So where we got stunned, we got slow, we got dazed. You deal 5% increase, again multiply increased damage for each nearby enemy that is crowd controlled, up to 25%. So dazing, stunning, slowing, you're doing all that extra damage. And that's why the build is just so insane, man. So insane. So yeah, there you go, folks. Obviously, I've gone through all the skills, all the build, the Paragon build for you. I've tried to be in adepting as I can, as quick as I can, not only for newer players, but obviously veterans as well. If there's obviously any questions you've got, let me know. But like I said, I like to prove everything I say, and the receipts are there. So Uber Lilith done and destroyed, absolutely lasered and melted. I'll post a link in this video in the comment section, so you can just click on that and watch that if you wish. And again, I've covered like little clips here and there. Some of the clips may have the build where I had to tweak a few things after, as I was doing the tutorial, the guide, some of the points were in wrong places, so that's a minor, but you can still see the damage and the millions and millions of damage. But I just like to be honest about everything up front. But again, if you got any questions about any builds or god builds, let me know. I'm kind of done with content for this game, because I've covered all the uniques for Rogue, I've covered all the builds, god build videos, Uber Lilith is done. There isn't nothing left to do. But if you want any help on the game, or got any questions about what I've done or certain builds, or just any questions, I stream on Twitch every day, 4 to 6 hours every day, different games, different genres, different content. So you're more than welcome to join the Twitch streams and ask questions there. If you want to support the channel further, you can obviously On my Twitch channel, on the streams, or live stream, you can always sub, gift a sub, tip or donate if you wish. Links will be in the description below on this as well. On my YouTube channel, if you want to support that way, you can like the video, share the video, comment on the video. And again, if there's anything you want me to cover, let me know. I probably will be purchasing Last Epoch as well. I'll probably be covering that. That's another ARPG game. Doing God builds for that in the meanwhile. And maybe some Path of Exile. I think some of my viewers recommended that to me as well. But yeah, any games that I enjoy and I've started content for, regardless of what situation they're in, I'm always going to finish what I do content-wise and share it with the community and you peoples. But thanks for the time. Thanks for everything, people. And if you got any questions, let me know. But I appreciate that. So have a good night. And I'll catch you next one. Take it easy. And peace out, folks.